If everything breaks loose in the next 24 hours, your first mistake won't be fear, it'll be hesitation. Jesus described a chain of decisions that starts with one thing, recognizing it in time, then acting without looking back. Today I'm going to give you 5 exact instructions for those first 24 hours. But listen carefully. Number 2 is the one that separates people who react from people who freeze. And the worst part, no one is going to warn you. By the time you understand, the clock will already be running. Stay with me, because I'm starting with the sign almost everyone misreads on. That's why they lose time. Picture this, you're in a normal day, your mind is busy, your body is on autopilot, and suddenly something happens that feels like distant news to most people. But to you, it's a silent alarm. There's no giant sign, no news anchor shouting it started, just one fact, one. And if you recognize it too late, it doesn't steal a minute, it steals the window. Because the first idea you have to accept is brutal. The first 24 hours aren't a period for getting organized. They're a period for obeying, reacting, making decisions without the comfort of a second chance. And here's the hit. Jesus didn't leave this as theory. He left it as instructions so direct, so urgent that they almost sound impossible to follow if you don't understand them ahead of time. Before we get into the first instruction, I'm asking something simple. If this is truly speaking to you, type 24 hours in the comments, not to look good, but to mark your mind. I won't improvise when the clock starts. Now, instruction number 1 isn't running, it isn't hiding, it isn't packing, it's seeing and recognizing. Jesus points to a specific event, a sign you can't confuse with rumors. It's not general anxiety, it's not a feeling, it's something that if you understand it jumps out at you. And then he says something that feels like a whisper, aimed straight at you. Today, right now, let the reader understand. That's not decorative, that's a finger pressed to your chest, as if he's saying, if you're hearing this, it's not enough to believe you'll figure it out later. You have to understand it before it happens, because you want to obey what you don't recognize. This is where the first real separation begins, not between brave and cowardly, but between informed and confused. And in that moment, confusion isn't a personality flaw, it's danger. Because when the sign appears, you won't have time to research. You won't have time to call 10 people. You won't have time to sit down and say, okay, what does this mean? Life won't ask if you're ready. It will place the fact in front of you and measure you by your reaction. So instruction 1 is this. Understand what you're looking at. Jesus speaks of something that desecrates, something that occupies a place it does not belong. A kind of declaration in the center of the stage, something designed to deceive, to dominate, to demand loyalty. The point isn't memorizing complicated terms. The point is recognizing the pattern. When you see a display of power rise up, position itself where it shouldn't be, and demand what it doesn't own, don't treat it like just another headline. Don't treat it like a distant topic. Don't treat it like let's see what happens. Treat it exactly as Jesus said, the sign that starts the clock. And here's the psychological trap that destroys people. The mind loves denial. It loves not yet. It loves excuses. It loves delay. Because accepting that the clock has started forces you to move, and most people prefer the comfort of denial, even for 1 hour. And that 1 hour is the difference between walking out through an open door or finding it shut. So the first instruction isn't completed with adrenaline, it's completed with mental preparation, studying beforehand, recognizing beforehand, having the map beforehand, because the one who arrives late to understanding arrives early to danger. Now comes the question no one wants to ask. Do you genuinely recognize that sign without someone explaining it 1,000 times? If your honest answer is, I'm not sure, don't beat yourself up, but don't ignore it. Jesus didn't say it to create fear. He said it so you wouldn't be caught with sleepy eyes. And this leads perfectly into what comes next. Once the sign is recognized, the next move isn't debating it. The next move is obeying it. Instruction number 2 is the one that separates those who survive the chaos from those who get trapped-handed. It's so short it hurts. Run. Don't negotiate. Don't wait for confirmation. Don't say in a bit. Don't say let me finish this. Run. Jesus speaks of people near the impact point. Yes, but the principle he gives is universal. When power rises to claim what belongs to God, the world becomes a different place. And in that different world, anyone who wants to stay faithful becomes a target. And you have to burn this into your mind. Persecution doesn't start when everyone is ready. It starts when the system starts, and the system starts fast. That's why Jesus doesn't say, evaluate the risks. He doesn't say, plan an orderly exit. He doesn't say, gather everyone and make a shopping list. No, he says, run. And when he speaks about fleeing toward places that are less controlled, that's not poetry, that's logic. Cities are control, cameras, blocked streets, tracking noise, panic, lines, checkpoints. A city, when the system locks down, becomes a beautiful trap. Remote places aren't comfort. They're margin, distance, silence, fewer eyes, fewer hands controlling. And this isn't about playing the hero. It's about understanding one thing. When pressure rises, where you are matters. Now listen calmly, even if it burns. Most people lose right here, not because they don't want to obey, but because they try to obey their way. They try to run, but first I grab my stuff. First I tell everyone. First I lock up. First I buy supplies. First I go backhand. That first is the anchor that sinks you. That's why this instruction is the most uncomfortable. Running means accepting that in that hour, your life is worth more than your internal order, more than your routine, more than your pride, more than your perfect plan. And if this is hitting you, type something simple. No doubt, not to look good, so your mind rehearses it. Because in a real moment, the mind doesn't do what you think. It does what you practiced. Jesus drives it in with images you can't forget. A man is on a rooftop. He's breathing fresh air. Evening is falling. Everything looks normal. Suddenly, he hears not a global announcement, but a rumor that becomes certainty. The sign happened. The clock started. His instinct is human. Climb down, grab a bag, take water, take cash, take what matters. Go. Another man is out in a field, away from home, sweating, working. And Jesus says, no, don't go back, not even for a cloak. Go, from comfort. That sounds inhuman, but that's the key. It's not spoken from comfort. It's spoken from total urgency. And Jesus leaves a warning that is pure fire. Remember Lot's wife. Not for drama, for psychology. She didn't fall because she walked slowly. She fell because she looked back, because she couldn't release, because she tried to keep, if only with her eyes, what was already condemned. He's saying, don't make the same mistake. Don't lose the exit because of attachment. And here is a truth almost nobody says out loud. Obedience doesn't break when you lack strength. If you swallow that today, it saves you tomorrow. Because if you make peace with losing everything, when the moment comes, you'll obey. But if your heart is tied to comfort, when the moment comes, you'll hesitate. And hesitation in that moment isn't just emotion, it's a decision. Now I know what you're thinking. So what do I do? How am I supposed to not go back for anything? It's about inner preparation. Make a pact with yourself that your life and your people are worth more than possessions, that your future is worth more than your past, that obedience is worth more than nostalgia. And if you have family, you don't improvise this in panic. You talk beforehand. You agree beforehand. You rehearse beforehand. Because when chaos hits, communication collapses, reason snaps, fear takes over. Without agreements, you get arguments. You get arguments. Arguments cost minutes. Sand minutes cost exits. So within the first 24 hours, I want to tattoo one word into your mind. Decision. Fast decision. Humble decision. Firm decision. Instruction number 4 is to understand the severity, not to paralyze you, but to wake you up. Jesus says it will be a time like never before, and that if God did not shorten those days, no one would survive. Hear that? No one. That sentence destroys the fantasy of I'll adapt, because in normal situations, you adapt, you endure, you improvise. But here Jesus is saying, this goes beyond normal, beyond human endurance, beyond the logic of we'll see. Why does he say it? Because the human mind reacts like this. If it believes it can negotiate with danger, it negotiates. If it believes it can delay, it delays. If it believes it can adapt, it stays. But when you understand the thing coming cannot be negotiated, your obedience becomes serious. You stop treating Jesus' words like motivation and you treat them like a route. And here a hidden hope appears. For the sake of his people, God shortens the days. That means even if the world darkens, it isn't endless. Even if the system looks total, it isn't eternal. Even if fear screams there's no way out, God still holds the clock. That isn't permission to relax. It's fuel to endure. Because fear without hope breaks you, but hope with urgency moves you. Now, before the fifth instruction, here's a simple mental map. In the first 2 hours, the shock hits, the mind tries to deny. People search for confirmation. The impulse to go back for something appears. Your task is not to argue with your own mind. Recognize, accept, act. Because panic offers two extremes, paralysis or chaos, and Jesus offers a third, obedience. From hour 2 to hour 6, the noise begins. People run. Roads fill. Rumors multiply. Voices multiply. Your task is, keep direction. Don't follow crowds. Don't follow screams. Don't follow desperation. Direction. From hour 6 to hour 12, the gridlocks come. From hour 12 to hour 24, a new hunger appears. Someone save me. People cling to any voice that promises safety, and deception is born. And that brings instruction number 5. Don't be deceived. Because when you're exhausted, scared, hungry, sleepless with your heart pounding, you become the perfect target. Jesus warns that voices will appear saying, here he is, there he is, come, follow me, I have the way out. Voices with signs, voices with proof, voices with spectacle. The most dangerous deception isn't the one that looks fake, it's the one that looks convincing. So Jesus gives you a simple rule. Don't chase underground messages. Don't chase someone told me it's over there. Don't chase I know where it is, and I'll say it plainly. When the world breaks, opportunists multiply like flies. Not just opportunists for money, opportunists for control. People who want to lead you. People who want your obedience. In chaos, people trade freedom for promise, exactly what deception uses. Your question should be, does this pull me away from the clear instructions Jesus already gave? Because Jesus didn't tell you to chase the loudest voice. He told you not to get dragged by theater. And here's a survival trick that seems simple, but saves lives. In chaos, simple protects. Complicated deceives. Jesus' instructions are clear, almost too clear. That's why the mind resists them. The mind wants complex plans because complex feels like control. Now, I know someone is thinking, this sounds like I have to be perfect. No, you have to be decisive. Because the first 24 hours aren't for becoming someone different. They're for revealing who you are inside. When everything is fine, anyone can say, I'll obey, I'll trust, I won't cling. But when the clock starts, your soul shows the truth. That's why Jesus told you beforehand, so you could rehearse beforehand, decide beforehand. Because obedience isn't born in the moment. It's built before the moment. Imagine the sign has happened. Your heart knows it. Your mind tries to deny it. Your hands shake. Your family looks at you. Someone says wait. Someone says let's go back for that. Someone says 1 minute. And you remember. Your first mistake won't be fear. It'll be hesitation. In that instant, you choose. You choose to obey, even if it hurts. And in that choice of Anne, if the world collapses, you remain standing inside. Now, after hearing this, I don't want you to remember it as something you heard. I want you to remember it as a decision. Do 3 things. Don't overthink it. First, type 24 hours in the comments to mark that you want to improvise when the clock starts. Second, share this video with one person, one you love, someone who always hesitates, someone who gets distracted. Because when the moment comes, nobody is going to warn them, and the most painful thing is realizing it too late. Third, subscribe now, not out of habit, but as training, because here we don't feed fear. And if you're staying in this community, type this too. No doubt.